Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We have it's just a brand new channel. His name's Genius Warzone. Looks like he's relatively new to YouTube, and I believe this is personal footage because he's got his own watermark on the footage. So check him out. I'll leave the description to his channel, or the link to his channel in the description of this video. Real quick, my name is Saxon. I go by Vegas here in Ukraine. I joined the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine in January of 2023. I'm still here in Ukraine, no longer with the Legion. I'm now with Azov, specifically Azov's International Battalion. I've been here for a while now. We just finished up a deployment, actually, where I was a combat medic on one of the assault teams, and we did some really, really solid work. I'm extremely proud of the boys in the unit, the leadership that is in this battalion. So very cool. And not to mention, a huge percentage of this battalion, it came from this channel. It's you guys, subscribers. So that's just really cool. If you want to be one of those guys, click the link in the description. It's our application. It's my referral link. So when you fill out this specific link, it'll send it to the recruiters, and it'll show them that you know me, right? And they get back to you really quickly. So I just clicked through this really quickly. It's a shorter video, but it looks badass. Just straight up GoPro footage of like some CQB battles and firefights. Let's watch this. Oh, also, I've had a handful of people ask, where's your combat footage? Where's your combat footage? Only a couple, and it's usually the people who don't actually watch the content, because most of you guys already know these answers. When you film combat footage, when you're in a relatively large established brigade, now a corps like Azov, that's no longer your footage. That is the corps' footage. It's something that that's how it is. When you're in a smaller, like a GUR team, like a GUR team, that's kind of doing some cowboy shit, there's just like 4 or 6 of you, you know what I mean? You can post stuff like this, and I'm not saying this is the case for this guy, but you can just throw your information, or not your information, but your footage up kind of willy-nilly. But with Azov and other larger brigades, they need to scrub it. They need to check for anything that could release any OPSEC. So it's not as easy as like, hey, I was just in combat, and then, you know, I go home and just plug it into the computer and fucking upload it. It's not how it works. For like the 2 of you that think that's it, shut up. All right, let's watch this.
In the city of Vovchansk, Kharkiv region, assault teams from the Russian Volunteer Corps execute a coordinated operation to liberate the Vovchansk aggregate plant.
The Russian Volunteer Corps group, I forget their name, it's like RDP, or I don't know, I don't remember, but these guys are solid, man. They are Russians, but they have left the country, and they left when the full-scale invasion happened, and they straight up joined Ukraine to fight against Russians. These guys are solid. They've been doing really good work ever since the beginning of this conflict. So when I first heard about them, I'm like, ooh, but they're still Russian. But nah, man, I mean, these guys are good.
Captured entirely through helmet-mounted cameras, this footage gives an inside look at the tactics and pressure of close-quarters combat.
Выйдите, парадитик, скажите, туда не зайдешь. Отход, отход.
The mission begins within the tree line. Gunfire cracks through the dense forest as fighters close in on Russian.
Yo, using a bull spike that close to just open up a fucking hole in the wall is nuts. I didn't even know that was usually there's arming distances on rockets or on launchers like that. So they won't even explode if it's too close. Like if you shoot the ground in front of you, that'll just bury itself. I didn't even think it would go off that close. That's cool, man.
Positions. The first contact is swift. Enemies return fire, then break off, fleeing deeper toward the industrial ruins. With speed and discipline, RDK fighters advance.
RDK.
Проходи! Проходи! Давай! Термобар туда! Термобар!
Moving from tree line to tree line, they flank retreating forces, careful not to overextend. Communication is constant. Every footstep is deliberate. As the enemy falls back into the concrete skeleton of the aggregate plant, the tempo changes. Now it's room to room, wall to wall.
These guys are obviously good and they're trained. We have seen part of this because I remember that that bull spike shot right there, that launcher shot that he just took. So we've seen clips of this before. But you see how he comes out and he hit the building with the launcher, and then he intermittently just keeps semi-auto firing into that general area to just suppress and make sure nobody pops their head up, leans around a corner. You know what I mean? That's it's something really simple, and it might seem obvious to a lot of people, but that's typically a sign of you can see if somebody is decently trained.
The ruins echo with rifle shots. The team clears corners and blind spots, using grenades and precision fire to neutralize resistance. By the end of the footage, the position is under full control. No friendly losses are visible. The Vovchansk aggregate plant, once contested, now serves as a foothold in a larger counteroffensive effort in Kharkiv's north.
Okay, so I see what's happening. Genius Warzone, this dude's channel, it looks like he's taking footage and reviewing it and adding commentary to it. So I get it. This isn't his. He's not like I don't believe he's like a soldier here, but still very cool.
Where enemy drones don't just watch from above, they hunt. But on this day, they're hunted back. You're seeing real combat footage from the action cams
Dude has a double-barreled shotgun
of Ukraine's anti-aircraft missile and artillery battalion, part of the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade known as the Knights of the Winter Campaign. This isn't a video game. There's no cinematic music. Just real men holding the line with nerves of steel and hands blistered from constant readiness. The enemy sends drones. Ukraine sends bullets. At Torestk, every fighter is an air defender, and every drone they bring down is one less threat to the trench behind the key. South of Oleksivka in Sumy, Ukrainian special forces unleash the Lyot ground robot, a remote-controlled machine equipped with a PKT machine gun.
We're starting to see a lot more of these land drones doing all kinds of tasks, laying mines, demining. They can have launchers mounted on them. Most of the ones I've seen have tracks. This one looks like it has tires. Probably pros and cons for both. I've seen them used for Kazivacs, for injured, all kinds of stuff, dude. This land drones are going to be becoming more and more prevalent, guaranteed.
As drone footage captures enemy movement, Lyut opens fire with precision on Russian positions and armored vehicles. The robot remains low, mobile, and deadly. Moments later, radio intercepts reveal the Russians' confusion and panic. It's shooting by itself. It's a robot. The strike continues as FPV drones join in. Targeting retreating armor. This operation marks a new frontier, where robotics, surveillance, and combat come together on Ukraine's terms. Near Oleksivka and Sumy region, Ukrainian special forces unleash Lyut, a ground robotic system armed with a PKT machine gun. Remotely controlled and low profile, Lyut engages enemy positions, while FPV drones target retreating Russian armored vehicles. The combination of ground robotics and aerial strike power overwhelms the defenders. Radio intercepts reveal their shock.
I don't know what that round was that hit originally. That was huge, bigger than any arty or a mortar.
It's shooting by itself. It's a robot. The battlefield is changing, and Ukraine is leading that shift with precision, innovation, and controlled force. In a joint air-ground operation, Ukrainian forces carry out precision GBU, 39 bomb strikes on multiple Russian targets across the Oleksivka-Tyotkino axis. Drone operators guide the strikes with pinpoint accuracy.
Remember what we talked about in some of our past videos, how important spacing is? Spacing when you're patrolling, like in a ranger file like this. You can tell there's 2 fire teams, right? Or 2 different teams of 3. They're way too close together. Way too close. Anybody, for one, if you see this, you can tell this is a troop movement, right? When there's much larger spacing, you see one guy on a drone pass by. 10 minutes later, you see another guy pass by. That doesn't always correlate to a troop movement or the forces moving positions, but here you can tell they're doing something, right? So this will draw all the attention. Let's see what happens now.
The first impacts hit enemy shelters inside buildings. Fortified positions now turned to rubble. Moments later, a command and observation post is eliminated with a direct hit. Another strike targets a river crossing, a critical supply route, severing logistics flow.
How's an FPV?
Finally, a Russian command hub in Tyotkino, Kursk region, is struck and destroyed. Every detonation confirms successful coordination between aerial surveillance and strike aviation.
Definitely some cluster munitions there. Dude, I don't know. These guys are using some serious ordnance. Look at all the splashes in the water, right?
Nation confirms successful
That's not just shrapnel. I don't believe. To me, that looks like it could have been maybe airburst and cluster munition, possibly. I don't know. I guess that could be shrapnel.
coordination between aerial surveillance and strike aviation. The GBU-39 once again proves its value, reshaping the battlefield one coordinate at a time. Somewhere near Terny Donetsk region, under relentless mortar fire, a group of Brazilian legionnaires makes their way toward the front. Their mission isn't to fight, it's to rescue. Several comrades lie wounded near the contact line, and time is slipping away. Caught in open terrain, the unit sprints between craters, moving from cover to cover.
Unfortunately, that is the reality of moving pretty much anywhere as an infantry unit in combat here in Ukraine. Crossing open spaces like that, you do it as little as humanly possible, but it's inevitable. You have to at some point. And then they just launch shit at you. Drones, artillery, mortars, and basically you just haul ass and cross your fingers that it's not your day, right? It sounds absurd, but that's literally how it is.
Explosions shake the ground, but their focus never wavers. This is what duty looks like under fire. Not just the will to survive, but the will to return for others. No hesitation, no second thoughts.
Those are Colombians, those aren't Brazilians.
Just a promise being kept under artillery rain. In war, courage is often loud, but sometimes it sounds like footsteps running toward danger.
Hey, that was cool, man. A little Warhammer 40K. That was cool, seeing some actual footage like this, some firefighting, there was like bits and pieces, a little bit of everything there. New subscriber, Mr. Nicholas, shout out. That was cool though. Check out Genius Warzone. Also, if you're on your way out to Ukraine, you're considering it, join a solid unit. It doesn't have to be us over here at Azov, but just do your research. I recommend Azov because that's where I am, that's where I've been for a while, and I know our statistics. I know the metrics as far as woundeds and KIAs and all that stuff, and they look a lot better than 90% of the units in the country. So that's why I started this channel, man. Originally was to notify people that there are other options than some of the other units here in Ukraine that may not be the best option for foreigners. Anyways, I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.